Unexpected, really unexpected. I could have never thought that Carol's so-called big thing would turn out to be something like this. I thought that she was just a stupid and innocent rich girl. I had not expected to see her fallen to such a low level. Then again, it's not that strange of an idea. The rich young lady who ran away from home was brainwashed by a perverted uncle due to her inexperience, turning the story into capital letter M circled. Isn't that a popular plotline some genres? However, I felt a very strong sense of unrest in Carol's body. Advertisements. Carol leaned against the middle-aged man, seducingly rubbing the inside of her thigh against his leg as she clumsily traced circles on his chest with her little fingers. Suddenly, an idea flashed in my mind and I realized what was causing the sense of tension in her. It was fundamentally impossible for Carol to seduce any man. Because when the man looked at the girl who was suddenly trying to seduce him and started touching him all over the place, he only felt a sense of disgust. Then he suddenly pushed Carol away and yelled, "Where did this beggar come from? My new and clean clothes are all dirted by her, get lost. I have no spare change to toss your way." Because no one would want to do that one with a filthy beggar. Ow! Carol was pushed to the ground. She got up unsteadily while rubbing her butt. Then she pointed at the man's nose and jumped on her feet and said, "You're a beggar. Your whole family is beggars. This lady became like this only because she was deceived." "I'm not a beggar." The man sneered, "Those are just the fantasies of a retarded woman like you. Get out of my way now, don't block my path, I'm busy." Advertisements. Carol's expression suddenly became flushed with anger. She grabbed the man's collar and pulled him down to meet her face. Seeing that his body was easily pulled down by the girl, the man yelled at her in a fluster, What do you want?" Carol sneered coldly. "What do I want? I want you to see my big treasure." Suddenly, Carol pulled out a long stick-shaped thing. When the man saw the stick-shaped thing she held, his face suddenly changed. "You wouldn't, hee. Come on now, you should have a good taste of it," Carol said as she pointed the stick directly at the man's face. "Wait a minute, let's talk this out. Do you want money? I'll give it to you, just don't." Advertisements. This chapter is provided to you by Relibrary, HMHM, lie on the ground and repent. Advertisements. No, don't. PFFF. The spray bottle in Carol's sprayed some liquid on the man's face, instantly knocking him unconscious. Seeing the man become unconscious, Carol pushed him to the ground and patted her hands. "You still want to oppose this lady, looks like you don't know what's good for you." Then she turned to me and waved, "See Lilith, I knocked him out." Honestly, I should be happy because Carol is neither a prostitute nor is she trying to drag me into the sex industry. She was just a pure girl who knocked out a middle-aged man in an empty alley with some kind of unknown spray, but I couldn't feel any happiness about it at all. Not only was I not happy, but I also wanted to grab the spray from Carol's hand and just knock her unconscious with it. Because I pointed behind the excited Carol, "Say, before you try to show off how strong you are, shouldn't you first get rid of his partners?" Carol blinked and her face looked as if she didn't know what I was talking about. Then she turned around and shrieked, "Why are there still two people here? When did they show up?" "From the start, you idiot." Carol awkwardly smiled at me, "Haha, that, you know what? A true hunter's focus is only on their target, so it is normal that I didn't see those extras." "Like hell it is normal, you're just blind." At this time, one of the bulky men suddenly sneered and took 2 steps forward. "You two little girls dare to block us, I have to admire your courage, but it's time to end this farce. Just obediently follow this uncle and accept your punishment." Advertisements. Twee, who will go back with a fat pig like you? Carol spat at the fat man's face. The fat man wiped his twitching face with a handkerchief, and then started the cliché villain dialogue. "It seems like you won't listen obediently until you are faced with grim reality. Twee. 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 This lady isn't scared of a fat pig like you." Carol again spat on his face, this time 3 times at that. "You dare to call me a fat pig, go die." "Ha!" The fat man yelled and his body suddenly expanded to twice its original size and filled the entire alley. "Humph, this is the level 3 magic, steel reinforcement." After using it, Not even mid-rank level 4 warriors can break my defenses. He shot a malicious smile at us, and the white mucus on his face made him look even more disgusting. Now come obediently with me if you don't want a fight. Ahahaha, he said with his face full of self-confidence. This chapter is provided to you by Relibrary. After saying that, he slammed a fist into the wall where a hole of about 30 centimeters in diameter could be seen now. Awawa. That's terrible. Carol was so scared that she hid behind me. Didn't you say you were fearless? I turned and asked Carol, who was shivering in fear behind me. I'm not afraid, it's just that the gap in strength between them and myself is large enough that a strategic withdrawal is required in this situation to avoid unnecessary sacrifices. Ahaha. You're trembling. This uncle will make you regret coming to this world. The old man kept laughing loudly before he started rushing towards us like a disgusting and mad boar. What do we do now? He seems really strong. Lilith, quickly think of a way out of this. I don't want to be caught by a fat pig. Carol kept shaking my shoulder. Stop, stop, stop. If you shake it anymore, I'll be dizzy before we even start fighting. Fight? Lilith, you want to fight him? He looks so strong. Are you sure you can win against him? Advertisements, don't worry. I've already found his weakness. Really? Naturally. Naive kid, the fat man sneered disdainfully. This uncle's steel reinforcement has no weakness. Stop your useless struggle, you are going to die at my hands. Is that so? I looked at the fat man who was getting closer and said, how about this trick? Eat this lolly's 2 kick. I said that there is no weak you.